Welcome, everybody, to the 2024-25 NBA Season Award Show. We do this once a year. We predict what we think is going to happen with the NBA season, and maybe we're right, maybe we're wrong. Last year, I was off by my vote, Most Improved Player of the Year, though he was the most improved player in terms of points per game, with, I think, 11.9 points per game increase to 22.5. So we've been accurate in the past. You, I think, predicted the sixth man of the year last year.
What I have, I had Nas Reed, right?
Yes.
Okay, good.
It was a pretty good call.
I actually got it right.
It was a pretty good call. So anyway, we've had our prediction shows over the years, and we want to keep this going. So today, we're going to go through all the NBA awards. We're going to talk about the West and East standings, and a little mini segment about KOC, his 7 best players to swing a title race. They're pretty interesting. So we came up with our own 7. And also we're going to touch on the UFC Fight Night and PFL from last night. Some good stuff.
And yeah, good stuff, right.
Some good stuff.
Some good stuff.
A lot of decisions. But and then we got the WNBA Finals, Game 5. It's do or die. It's basically like a Game 7 in the NBA. Game 5, it's the last game. Best out of 3. So let's see who wins that. We'll get into that too. I don't want to start going off too early, but Rich, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling pretty good. The fight, that was a nice way to put it for the fight card last night in the UFC. God damn, was that boring. Jesus.
It was pretty boring for last night. It's actually a shame. Do you want to start with the UFC, or would you rather hide that at the end in shame and embarrassment?
I guess we can start out. We usually start off with the UFC, so I guess we'll start off with the UFC.
But all right, we'll roll through the UFC a little quicker than we normally do today.
Yeah, because I don't really know. I guess we'll just go to the main event.
I mean, there was a couple good fights on the prelims.
The Darren Elkins fight was good.
That's what I was about to talk about. Darren Elkins, man. I was talking to Hawk yesterday, and he was like, you think if you had to, you think you could fight this dude at 145? Darren Elkins? And I'm like,
hell no.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not. I heard him talk on the mic after. I'm like, this dude lives in the gym.
No, he's got brain damage. You hear him talking, bro, he's slurring his words. Oh, my God.
That's what I'm like, this dude lives in the gym. There's no beating this guy. He's a zombie.
Right. And the thing is, I don't even care about fighting. I can't make 145.
That's the other part. I'm like, bro, I can't make 145, dog. I'm like 195. I have to lose 50 pounds to fight Darren Elkins.
I'm going to be in the hospital.
No bullshit. I'm going to be in the hospital before I even fight the guy.
Yeah, before you even fight him. And then going to be, got to go in the hospital twice? No.
It was a sloppy banger, though.
It was.
It was the only banger of the night, in my opinion. It was sloppy. It was crazy. Pineda's eye gets busted open, and you're seeing, the white meat show, in the first round. It was nasty.
Pause. I want that white meat. Don't want that white meat in your face.
No, you don't.
Not a good thing.
It's not. And then he splits his other eye. So then both eyes are messed up. One is actually messed up, though, and it was that first cut.
Yeah. And then at the end of the fight, you see blood dripping down his body. It was not pretty.
I think the judges were 49-46 all the way across. If I'm remembering this properly.
29-28.
29-28? What was
29-28.
Which is the one I'm thinking of that was 49-46?
I don't know, but this is a 3-rounder.
Yeah. Where did I write that down? I must have wrote that down in the wrong spot.
You're talking about Elkins and Pineda?
Yeah, I guess I wrote that down in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
I was writing notes all last night.
God damn.
Watching it, and I must have wrote that down next to the wrong name. There's a lot of lines. Each person had their own little line, but I had Austin Lane. I was watching since early prelims. Austin Lane's takedown were pretty good. This was the first fight of the night.
Yeah, because that Robelis guy, he's just a striker, and he has that weird stance,
Hmm.
and he
And it
throws.
was just like it was a slow fight. Austin Lane just wanted to take him down the whole time and not get hit.
No, it was a great game plan. It made for a boring fight, but a win's a win.
Yeah, it was a solid fight. Like I don't know, it was slow, but it made sense.
Right.
It felt like it was more strategic. I don't know. I can't explain it. Yo, did you see the next fight, the Jocelyn Edwards and Tamara's Vidal?
No, I missed that fight.
Vidal got tapped, right? But
Mhm.
bro, the headlock was over the chin. She just was uncomfortable.
Oh, she just had it across her face like a neck
She had
crank,
it across her face and she tapped with it across her face.
like Khabib against Conor.
Right.
That's
And
tough.
Khabib had that tight though.
Yeah.
Nah, but yeah, Vidal tapped over the chin, and I'm like, damn. I always hate to see that because it's like you got a mouth guard, just bite down on the mouth guard. You're not moving.
Right.
Like
Well, if I'm in there, I'm tapping.
especially against Elkins.
But yeah, if it's against Elkins, definitely, or Khabib.
Yeah, well, yeah, definitely Khabib. I don't
Um,
know about Elkins at 145. He just looks gassed.
he
He looks
looks,
really tired at the end.
yeah, he looks sick. The way his body, it's just gross. I don't know. It's just nasty.
The way he was throwing punches, he like barely even could like keep up. He was just swinging arms, like it was so sloppy. But
I mean,
he just had all the heart in the world. He was like, "I'm not giving up, though. I'm tired, but I'm not giving up."
he's got severe brain damage, so it's impressive he's even out there.
Right. Got to give Darren Elkins some kudos. Shout out to CTE.
Yep. Shout out CTE.
Shout out CTE, man.
Cracker of the day.
Cracker of the day, CTE. What else? Oh, yo, the John Matsumoto fight was pretty solid against Brad Katana.
Oh yeah, I seen that.
Katana's decent, and it was an interesting fight. Like at times I thought Matsumoto looked a little slow because he wasn't leading the fight. Like Katana was just coming in there 1-2, and then Matsumoto would just hit him with a 3-piece hook on him. All this other shit. He looked stronger. He looked like the better fighter, but he wasn't taking the fight to Brad Katana. So what I think is once you start fighting up in better people, he's gonna end up losing these fights.
Right.
Because you could be the better fighter in all this, but if you're not like leading the dance most of your fights and you're not leading against Brad Katana, it's not a good sign.
Right. He's undefeated right now too.
Yeah, Brad Katana shouldn't be walking you down most of the fight.
Right.
That's just the way I see it. The dude's undefeated. He's pretty solid. He looks technical, but I think he's fighting a little too safe, which you'll eventually get picked apart by the greats.
Right.
What was next? Oh yeah, the Asul Almabiev. He was ranked 14, and he won a decision over Matus Nicolau, number 7 ranked in 125. That was pretty good. It was a decent fight. Again, that's a guy, Asu. He ended up winning, but he was grabbing those single legs. Matus was dropping the bows on his head. I've been seeing it more and more the past couple of weeks. I think people are done getting single-legged.
Yep. And you were talking about it with the Jalton Almeida and Curtis Blades fight.
Predicted it.
Yeah.
In advance. I said this is exactly how he's going to get knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
And it happened because it was just poor technique. I've seen it time after time, but I've also seen Curtis Blades know how to use his elbows in certain situations. And I was like, oh, Almeida's going to push him against the fence. He's going to have dog shit technique and get beat up. He's just going to get the elbows dropped on his head because he's single-legging.
And Almeida's just so one-dimensional, too. You know it's coming, so it's...
Exactly. So, yeah. I'm seeing it more from other fighters. I'm glad they're just joining the party. That's what you got to do. You got to punish this. Like, even if you're on bottom, same thing if you're on bottom and the dude is sitting there, like, laying on your chest, pause. But, like, it happens all the time where they get half mount and all this stuff, and they just lay there and they, like, cover their head and just eat clock. Like, no, drop the ball on his head.
Like Conor against Chad Mendes.
Yes, butcher people. This is what you got to do. You're in a
Or
cage fight.
Anderson Silva against Travis Lutter.
That too. That's what I'm saying. Like, I've watched the greats, the best of the best, do this technique. It's not like I'm coming out here going, Darren Elkins figured it out.
Yeah.
He cracked the code. No one has ever done this before. It's like literally championship level fights have this. So that's what I'm saying. Like, these guys need to take that next step, that next level up in the getting there. And I think it's going to spread throughout the league the same way, NBA, you got Curry shooting the three, changing the three game. Now everybody's shooting threes. It's just all about, technique. Oh, man, Hawk's calling me. Hold on.
It's always Hawk.
It's always Hawk, man. Oh. He's always calling on Discord. Yeah. We're live, brother. Oh, it was Raw, actually. I didn't even see. Now my phone's going off. Calling my phone. All right. We already talked about the sloppy banger. This one,
sloppy banger.
Bad eye poke, Cameron Smotherman and Jake Hadley. I liked what Cameron Smotherman had to say after the fight. He said something like, "It's not good enough. This performance wasn't good enough. He wanted a knockout. He wanted to go above and beyond and really put his name into the UFC, atmosphere and have people excited about him. But instead, it turned out into him getting eye poked a couple times and kicked in the balls.
And then he kicked Hadley in the balls too.
Right at the end, he kicked him back.
Yes.
And then the announcers forgot who got kicked. They were like, twice? And then he's like, wait, it's one on each side.
Yeah. But then he came in, I think, on less than a week's notice too.
Day and a half, he said.
And a huge underdog.
So they told him on Thursday, said, hey, pull up on Saturday. You're going to fight in the UFC.
Like, all right, bet.
So I respect it, And I guess there was a lot of money on Jake Hadley.
Yeah, he was a massive favorite.
They even said that this is Jake Hadley's training partner, which was a little weird.
And they said he was minus 600.
Yeah.
Minus 600 the pre-fight odds. So.
I'm like, this is your training partner, and you did this on a day and a half notice. And they said it's the most heavily bet fight.
Vegas. It was in Vegas too, so.
It was like the most Vegas fight. Either they knew that this guy Cameron Smotherman busts this guy's ass in practice every day, or they set up a bloodbath and it didn't happen.
I don't know.
Because they were like, these guys are training partners. They were just training 2 days ago together, and I was like, then why are they fighting each other?
Yeah, it's a little Vegas-esque.
You couldn't call one person, and then for them to announce that this is the most heavily bet fight, I was like, it's like a conflict of interest. Like, what? Someone knows something. If this is the most heavily bet fight and they were training together 2 days ago, someone knows something. So, right. Whatever. But Cameron Smotherman, we root for all the Cams. Cam Thomas, and then now Cameron Smotherman. But we don't really root for Cameron Saman, though.
No,
we don't root for him.
He stinks.
Yeah. He's not my favorite African-American. Cameron Saman.
He is South African, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the Elon joke.
All right.
You seen that recently on Andrew Schultz? He had Trump on, and then he said, is Elon your favorite African? He's from South Africa. I thought it was so funny. It was just a funny little nuance to language. But yeah, so you got the -1 for the eye poke. I thought that was good. I thought the refs were great tonight or last night.
Yeah.
There were a few other good ones. Actually, the best ref of the night is PFL, Dan Mergliotta. I'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, it was good to take the point away. Loved that. And also I'm calling him Saman. Smotherman, the body shots were crazy. The way he was standing and everything, but then it was all body shots. He wasn't throwing wild haymakers. He was like faking that he was like going to throw haymakers the whole time.
No,
and then just come downstairs. Boom, hit him right in the gut every time. Side of the ribs. Boom, boom.
And Hadley at the end of the fight, he was just throwing everything. He was again because he knew he was down, 2 rounds, and plus you had the minus 1 point for the eye poke, so he knew he had to go for it.
Right.
But the body shot says he got 48.
I'm not even looking at the numbers. It was crazy.
Mm.
The big body shots too. These weren't like little end of the glove, barely hit some type shit where this guy's dodging. No, they were heavy impact shots.
No, they were clean.
Next one, Charles Johnson, 4th fight of 2024. I thought he was going to lose before the fight. I'm like, this is probably going to be a loss. Sumaderji, he's been solid. He's got some knockout power.
It was actually a good fight.
It was.
Surprised. And he knocked him. I thought he was going to finish the fight in the first round. He had him hurt in the first round.
Yep.
And then Margie threw up that submission attempt and almost got him.
Yeah, I almost thought the ref should have got him out of there. At one point, I thought it was I have it written down. 10-8'd Sumaderji.
I see it.
10-8'd him. I wrote that live, and then we got the scorecards after, and I actually forgot if he got 10-8s across the board. And also, I will say, this kind of proved, because the UFC went after the PFL, and we're kind of doing it in reverse right now, but the best fight was the Ngannou fight. So I wrote, proves late stops are better, because there was a point in time where I thought Sumaderji should have got finished and the ref should have called it. There was a split second where I'm like, oh, the ref's going to call this. That's a TKO. Like, he's not defending himself.
Yeah, and then he went on to win the second round.
Exactly. And then fight in the third round and everything else. So I think it's solid when a ref lets an extra second go by to really get a definitive answer. Not the quickest stoppage possible. I understand about the safety of people, but this is also a sport, and we're trying to get definitive results. That's the way I see it.
Kind of like the Pereira fight, to be honest, because I thought, Pereira could have gotten stopped in the second and the fourth.
Right.
Main event, but then he kept fighting, and he ultimately got finished in the fifth, but at least he gave the guy a chance. He was still kind of moving, somewhat defending himself. But
right. Give his corner the opportunity to throw in the towel.
Right.
That's what this is, So that's just what I feel. So I'm glad that it was kind of like I said, it was like a late stoppage because he understood. It might look bad, but it's not like the guy was done or finished.
Right.
Yeah. So
he was
shout out to the refs. Oh, this is what it was. It was the Rob Font fight that I think I had with the wrong numbers. Now that I've gotten down to the Rob Font fight, I think that's what it is.
And Rob was a huge underdog in this one too.
I
took Rob in this one. Put $1 down, won like 5 and change.
Big money.
Not a big deal. It's just what I do.
It's just what you do. Just stacking that paper.
Stacking, $5 a day.
It was too perfect.
Yep.
Yeah, Ritchie cashing out. And then the last fight of the night for UFC, Anthony Hernandez versus Michel Pereira. And a TKO for Fluffy in the fifth.
Yeah, and I thought, Pereira used all his energy for the first 2 minutes to try and finish Hernandez, and then he just gassed out for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
He was exhausted after that. It was crazy. He was pouring it on, and then after that, I don't know. He
looked like a different fighter all of a sudden. Like,
exhausted.
That first 3 minutes, I thought he was going to finish Hernandez quick.
It looked like it. He had him up against the fence, and then Hernandez threw that crazy right that missed him, but it kind of backed for a second, and then after that, it was really Hernandez.
Like how Hernandez, because he looked so much smaller than Pereira, and then he goes on the mic after the fight, and he goes, how the fuck did this guy make 170?
Yeah, because
that might have been quote of the night, because this guy's fighting at 185, and he was a giant, and he's like, this guy's big for our weight class. How was he fighting below me? Because he's bigger than me, And
I was watching it when they, they bring the two fighters together, whatever, and they go through the rules again. And I was looking at his shoulders. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I don't know how he's 185.
He's paused, but he's huge. I was like, bro.
Is he like hollow? Like, how is he that big that he doesn't weigh anything?
And he's that athletic too. I mean,
Right.
we a lot of his athleticism last night because he gassed out after 2 minutes. But
yeah, there's something up with him. But yeah, the way he gasses out is kind of weird.
He's juiced up.
He must be juiced up, or he's like, he used to be super juiced, something like that.
It doesn't look natural.
Yeah, it doesn't look natty at all.
His shoulders do not look natural.
Also, he has like 45 professional fights.
Yeah.
He's
31
like
12 now.
31 and 12 with like a draw or something.
Yeah. I think maybe a no contest.
Or yeah, maybe a no contest.
Might have
Halfway through the fifth, finishes him. It was a good main event. It was solid. It was actually interesting to see like different people fight in a different strategy,
right.
New situation. It was cool, especially because, like I said, the first round gives you one vibe, and then the rest of the fight was a totally different vibe.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's going to happen next? Is next round there's going to be a switch? Is Picheda going to catch him with a knee and then get top control for 2 minutes or something? But that never really happened. He just didn't have it in him.
Yeah, he was just gassed.
But the PFL, I think, was the most interesting of the night.
Yeah.
Starting with AJ McKee. AJ McKee lost, which I was really shocked because at one point I thought he could have been the best 155er in the world. Like when he was champ at 155, that was back when like maybe Khabib was champ at 155, but he held it for a very long time. He was undefeated for a minute, and he loses to Ireland's Paul Hughes. So we'll see what happens with Paul Hughes' career. You don't just beat AJ McKee and not get a boost from that. So let's see what happens to this guy Paul Hughes. See where he goes, because like I said, I thought AJ McKee was one of the best in the world. Didn't matter if he was not with the UFC. I seen what the hell he was doing in every other fight league, and he was fucking people up. And it wasn't like he was just some super athlete, just knocking people out and everything else. Like he was doing a lot of different stuff. He's a very skilled and technical fighter. So I'm shocked, absolutely shocked. I didn't know who this Paul Hughes guy was until last night. So it's kind of cool seeing somebody new. Next was Leon Edwards' brother, Fabian Edwards, lost in the championship, 185, to Johnny Eblin.
And that was just grabbing.
USA all the way. USA, we beat the British.
America.
And Eblin's goes on to like 15-0, 16-0, maybe something like that.
No.
Maybe more. I didn't write his win total down. 18-0, maybe?
No, 16. 16-0.
16? Okay, I'm remembering it right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty cool. And that actually was Fabian Edwards' second time fighting Johnny Eblin for the title. So he's failed twice in the final 2 championship matches.
It's been a rough year for the Edwards brothers.
Yeah, I don't think you get like a third rematch or a third trip to the belt. But the PFL does work a little differently. It's a bracket. So it doesn't matter if he loses in the finals every year. He can lose in the finals every year, 5 years in a row, lose 5 belts in 5 years.
Right.
It's not like the UFC where like Usman is never going to fight Leon Edwards for a 4th time. But the PFL, they don't choose that stuff. It's who's ever winning. And it lined up randomly in the bracket. So I guess it's fair in a way.
What happens if Holloway beats Topuria this week or next week, and then when Volkanovski wins a fight and then he's back in title talks? Can they do that title fight again?
No. I think Volkanovski's lost too many in a row, but he's fighting Diego Lopez.
I heard he's supposed to fight Diego Lopez. The UFC hasn't announced it yet, though. It's
pretty interesting because Diego Lopez is huge. Like he's a big dude for that weight class.
Man, if Volk loses,
he's a 6-footer, and Volkanovski's like 5'5", 5'6".
If Volk loses against Lopez, it might be wraps for him.
I'm saying though, like Lopez got some heavy ass hands, crazy reach. He's not afraid to throw, and Volk's been getting caught lately.
Because that'd be 3 straight losses and then back-to-back losses at featherweight.
Right.
So that's kind of tough to come back from that.
I agree. Might have been one of the best fights of the night. Arguable. We could argue maybe which one was our favorite. But Chris Cyborg against Larissa Pacheco. What the fuck was that fight, bro? Cyborg gets both eyes split in the first round, kind of like Pineda, but the exact opposite of what actually happened. You had Cyborg leading the dance for all 5 rounds. Pacheco looked like she didn't know what happened. And this is Pacheco beat Kayla Harrison.
Right.
So if you could beat Kayla Harrison a few years ago, but now you're losing to Chris Cyborg, who's been a wash 10 years ago, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, she can't strike with her. She couldn't.
It doesn't matter if you were hitting a Cyborg, she just wasn't dropping.
Yeah.
You got to punch like Amanda Nunes if you want to put her down.
Yeah,
or you got to hit her with a head kick.
That overhand right.
She just throws that thing.
That loopy ass punch.
Yep. But she really throws it with all her might.
She did.
Yeah. It was a really good fight, though. I love that. I think that was one of my favorites because if you looked at it, if you took a step back, you would say Chris Cyborg was losing. If you just looked at their faces and their body language. But it just looked like Pacheco was kind of checked out. Like it wasn't her night.
Uh-huh.
The way I describe it is like 4 out of 5 times Pacheco wins the fight. This is just the night. Whatever random things happened, like what pops in Cyborg's head, she goes, I'm going to throw a 3-punch combo right now. Like, that might have not happened a few days ago or whatever, like if they would have fought a different time. But just everything lined up perfectly. Cyborg could do no wrong. Like, Pacheco couldn't figure it out. And I think she was confused.
And she's 39, too, and she's still doing it.
Cyborg's almost 40, and she's beating bitches up for the world championship still. It's crazy. It's actually crazy that she's 40, and she's beating girls up in her prime.
All roided up.
Well, she was roided up. I don't think she's roided up anymore. I think that's why she actually looks better.
And she still
like Pijera looks like dog shit. He can't go 5 rounds because he's roided up.
Yeah, with or without steroids, she's really good.
Right. She was always a freak of nature. Even if you look at her pictures when she was younger and everything else, Cyborg was always a beast. Always built like no one else, Right. But let's move on. Last fight of the night. PFL champion, heavyweight champion of the world, Francis Ngannou.
He's a wrestler now. He's a
right? He's a wrestler.
His last 2 MMA fights, he's turned into one of the best heavyweight grapplers ever.
It's so funny to see this. It's like he hung out with Kamaru Usman with all his time off. And he's like, how do you do it, Marty? And he shows him.
Man. But, I mean, ultimately got to finish with the punches, but he had to take him down first.
Yeah, he had to take him down. They were exchanging leg kicks. I thought that was a little interesting. Like Francis was landing, and then Fijera threw a couple leg kicks back, landed a couple times on him. You could tell Francis didn't like that too much because Francis has bad knees.
And Ferreira and Ngannou threw the first leg kick, and it kind of, threw Ferreira off balance, and then Ferreira threw on that. I think that surprised Ngannou too. I think they both surprised each other with the leg kicks, but I liked it.
They were both doing that leg strength test.
Yeah, they
Have you seen that? All the UFC fighters, like, whenever people meet UFC fighters, they go, kick my leg.
Yeah, I'm all set with that. Like Alex Pereira.
Pereira, yeah. He said, okay, this is 10%. Kick somebody, they drop.
Bro. But
crazy.
I like that they actually had a game plan. They weren't just swinging for the fences. They were actually, trying other stuff, going for leg kicks. And then Ferreira looked like he almost got Ngannou in that triangle.
Yeah, he almost caught him. The arm almost stuck in there because you could see it when they got an angle. It looked like his glove got stuck under his body.
Right.
Like he was caught under, so he couldn't pull the hand up. And then once this Fijera realized that, he tried to get the arm bar. I don't know why he couldn't get the arm bar. He was caught. He eventually pulled it out, but if you have the guy snagged just naturally without even doing the submission, you'd think when you get the submission it would be better.
Right.
But he didn't pull it. Francis might just be that strong where he's pulling up and you can't pull down.
And imagine what kind of power you have to be able to be, on your knees like that and strike and finish him like that and knock him out.
Knock him out with the left hand, just hooking it
at an awkward angle like that.
Bro, the lump immediately was crazy. That's how you know he wasn't landing baby shots either.
Yeah, and he
that
had
was power.
And he had a shot or two in the back of the head too. I mean, the fight was already going to be over, but I don't think Ngannou meant to, but it was just the way.
One of the last punches was definitely on the back of his head.
Yeah, but it was going to be.
He was donezo. Yeah.
It was done regardless.
Yeah.
But I don't know what's next.
Let me say this one thing. This is what I mentioned earlier. Great reffing tonight. Dan Miragliotta, UFC legend, but he was over there for the PFL last night. And twice he pulled Figueira's toes out of the cage.
Yep, I like that.
Like pulled them out too. Didn't just say, watch your toes, watch your toes. He actually had command of the ring, and that's what you're supposed to be as a ref.
Yeah, some referees will just tap him, but he actually pulled him out. Twice.
And he was giving warnings too, before and after. He was very vocal. Like you felt like you were in Dan Miragliotta's ring.
Right.
Like that's what it felt like. And I like that when refs make a presence. I felt like Herb has been tiptoey sometimes. And like a few of the other refs are a little tiptoey to me.
He's so worried about stopping the fights. He's so bad at them because he goes in and then he's like, oh, they're still kind of moving. And then he backs up and then he's on top of both of the fighters.
Yeah, there's too many half movements with Herb Dean. Just indecision. Like, I want to know yes or no. This is not allowed. This is allowed. There's too many, well, you kind of broke a rule.
Yeah, he's really unsure of his decision making.
Yeah, I don't like how he's been lately.
When it comes to stopping fights.
Right. But yeah, this one thing I wrote about Dan Miragliotta right here. Great ref, stopped toes twice, commands the ring. That's really what I remember from last night, from what he was doing.
And I don't know what's next for Ngannou now.
What?
I don't know what's next for Ngannou now. I mean, he's going to fight another person in the PFL, another bum.
I know. I was talking to Raheem about it, and he was just like, this guy, blah, blah. We were looking at Figueira's record, and I'm like, well, he stopped 6 straight guys in 1 minute. What does that sound like to you? Does it sound like Sergey Pavlovich?
Yeah,
a guy who couldn't fight in a second round because the second he fought somebody worth a damn, he couldn't fight anymore because that's all he had. He had one tool in his toolbox, and then the second it didn't work in the first 60 seconds, he's like, what do I do now? We're in here for 5 minutes.
So maybe Ngannou is just that good.
And I think that's what it is. Ngannou's better. He's much more experienced in the ring. I think he had the confidence on this guy. Figueira's really raw. He's 13-3. And he doesn't get too much experience. He doesn't get cage time. He knocks dudes out in 60 seconds. And for the entire 60 seconds of the fight, as soon as that bell rings, those guys are scared of him and they don't even try to engage.
And that's kind of what Francis was doing on his way to his first title shot.
But eventually you run into a few fights where he had to extend and he had to learn. Stipe is a perfect example. He goes 5 rounds with Stipe. Stipe point fights him and beats him. But then the next time he fights him, he knows what he has to do. Makes definitive moves and closes the fight out. He gets caught, but has the presence of mind to still throw a punch back and wins.
Well, yeah, and Stipe got really excited because he thought he hurt him.
I would have too. But the only reason why he didn't knock him out was because he was 20 pounds underweight.
Yeah.
Stipe fights him the first time at 255, beats him. The second time you fight him at 235,
right.
20 pounds less. And then Francis goes up 10 pounds. So now it's a 35-point shift. Then Francis is wrestling and throwing Stipe around. I'm like, what the fuck are we watching? I couldn't believe he went down in weight, but that's also the reason why he didn't sleep him. If he was 255, not cutting weight, trying to be vegan, he would have slept Francis. But instead, he cut the 20 pounds, didn't have all the juice on his punch, and he got caught.
Yeah.
Poor Stipe. Still hasn't fought since.
Well, we'll see in November.
All right, we'll see in November. Actually, Camp Flognaw is that same day.
Right. That's a great sports day, then.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know
Great day in general.
Yeah, great day. I don't know why I said sports, but yeah.
Great sports day.
A great sports day, I guess. In my
Can't
mind.
wait to see Earl Sweatshirt's jumper. All right.
Wisconsin's going to be having all these sports bars. That's why I said it.
Word.
That's why I said it.
All right. Well, let's go to the NBA awards show. We talked about UFC. We tried to go quick. 35 minutes is actually pretty quick for us. That was 2 UFCs, basically. We had the PFL and Fight Night.
And so we're going to close with the WNBA then?
Yeah, then we'll close with the W about Game 5. And then next week we'll talk about, who wins the finals or who won.
All right. So you want to do standings first?
So, sure, we can do standings.
All right. This might be – you want me to start?
Yeah. Yeah, you can start it off.
All right. So the number 1 seed might be kind of shocking, but I feel like – I don't think they're going to win it all, but I think they're going to be a great regular season team. And now they have more time with each other. I'm going to go with the Pacers as the number 1 seed.
The who?
The Pacers.
The Pacers at number 1?
You're going to be surprised. I just think they're a really good regular season team. Teams don't play defense during the regular season. You're going to have a full year with Pascal Siakam. Hopefully Tyrese Halliburton stays healthy the whole season. If you have some of those other guys and Andrew Nembhard take another step.
Mm-hmm.
See, maybe
he looked great in the playoffs. One of their best players, to be honest.
And maybe they finally make the move with Miles Turner. They've been talking about trading Miles Turner since Gordon Hayward was on his first year with the Celtics. So I don't know if they're actually going to make a move there.
They got James Wiseman, and that's basically about it behind him.
Not a lot, right?
Yeah, Obi Toppin, maybe a small ball 5, but I already know that doesn't work. Oh,
yeah.
They got Ijax. I don't know why they always list Ijax at small forward.
He's definitely not a small forward.
He has never been a small forward.
No. But yeah, I just think they're a really good regular season team.
Tristan Newton, championship level team right there.
Another guard on the
page. I know, another guard. That's all they keep doing is drafting guards. Small guards, too.
Right.
Yeah, that's weird. I like the Furphy pick, though. Furphy works hard.
And then I had I got the Knicks as the number 2 seed. I took the Celtics at number 3. And I still think the Celtics have a great chance of winning it in the postseason, though. But I'll take the Celtics at number 3.
Wait, you like the Celtics at 3?
Yeah, I got the Celtics at 3. But I still think.
Who's at 2?
The Knicks.
The Knicks are at 2? Okay.
That 2. Celtics might have a little bit of championship hangover. They don't have Porzingis to start the regular season. Maybe they make some moves to add some bench pieces before the deadline. But yeah, I'll take the Celtics at 3, and I could see them winning the championship again. But
yeah, I also see them winning the championship again. I have the Knicks in first place in the East. And then I have the Celtics 2nd, Cavs 3rd, Bucks 4th, Pacers 5th, and then Magic 6th.
All right, so I got Pacers 1. Should we just go back and forth? I feel like that'd be easier.
Yeah.
All right, so I got Pacers 1, you got Knicks 1.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got so Celtics I got 2. Okay, I got Knicks 2. Then I got Celtics 3. Who do you have at 3?
Cavs.
You got Cavs at 3, so I got Cavs at 4. And who do you have at 4?
4, I got the Bucks.
4, you got the Bucks. 5, I got the Heat. I think Jimmy Butler is actually going to take the regular season more seriously this year. And hopefully they can have a guaranteed playoff spot, so I'll take the Heat at 5.
Okay. Heat at 5. I have the Heat at 9. I got them making the playoffs. I wanted to put the Hornets at 6, and then I'm like, wait, I can't leave out the Magic.
Right. And I got the
Hornets making it, though, at the 7th seed.
Damn.
Killing it. First team into the bubble.
All right.
They're going to play at the bubble. They're going to go down.
They're just going to play in that. Only them.
Only that. Well, no, that's what they're going to do. The play-in tournament, they're going to go down to the bubble this year and go play in there.
I got the
What?
I got the Magic at 6th.
All right, we have the Magic ranked the same spot. They placed in 5th last year, but I think they're going to just go to 6th this year.
All right, this one is different, but I got the Bucks at 7.
Okay, Bucks are a play-in squad.
Because I think Giannis is a good enough player, but I mean, for them to at least make the play-in tournament. But I just don't know Dame, how old he is. I guess because he didn't practice a lot preseason, right? Because he was a little banged up. Or no, he wasn't banged up. He didn't know if he was going to get traded or not, so he didn't really play that much in the offseason.
Yeah, last offseason. This offseason, he should be fine.
Yeah, and then Middleton, who knows? He had more surgeries in the offseason. I don't know how good he's going to be. They don't really have a whole lot off the bench. I thought Brook Lopez had a down year last year, but I still think
Bobby Portis could have won 6th Man of the Year. So, I mean, still got Bobby Portis coming off the bench doing his thing.
But who else do they really have off the bench, though?
I know. I mean, they just got Gary Trent Jr. They signed Taurean Prince, which is a decent-sized wing. They got Darrell Wright as well. Pat Connaughton's looked washed. Andre Jackson doesn't look that good to me.
Beauchamp hasn't looked great.
Beauchamp hasn't looked good. I'm pretty disappointed in Beauchamp, to be honest. But that's neither here nor there.
I forgot about Gary Trent Jr., though. I like the Gary Trent Jr. signing.
And he also used to play with Dame in Portland.
Yep.
If you don't remember, it was Dame, CJ, and Gary Trent Jr., and it was like 3-6-3 guys out there playing for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, so I like that signing.
It's very small. I hope Gary Trent plays the 2, though, for the Bucks. I don't want him playing the 3.
Oh, no, definitely not.
He can't defend. He cannot defend at all anymore.
But I like, even though they have Doc Rivers as their coach, and they're paying 3 coaches now, but I take the Bucks at 7.
Okay.
Or no, yeah, at 7. Then so who do you have at 7?
At 7, I have the Hornets.
Damn. You're really high on the Hornets.
I'm high on the Hornets this year. I really like Brandon Miller.
Bunch of criminals over there hooping.
I know. Jail ball. I don't think anybody's ready for it.
Oh. So at 8, I have the 76ers.
Interesting. I actually have the Raptors at 8. What do you have at 9?
I got the Bulls.
Bulls? Okay.
See what happens.
I have the Heat there. And then 10, what do you got?
Raptors.
That's playing. Raptors? Right. Okay. I have the 76ers there. Yeah, that's right. I have the 76ers at 10th seed, and now let me say why. So Joel Embiid is not playing any back-to-backs this year.
Yeah, that's
already like 65 games.
Yeah, I took that into account. So I was like,
just off of that alone. Paul George is already hurt. Embiid's going to be out a little bit. I think it's just going to be Maxey, and I think we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, I still think they're good enough to win enough games to make it, but they're not going to be – I don't think they're going to have a guaranteed playoff spot.
Right. And I mean, there's some guys, to look at on the roster fantasy-wise that I hate to, aim for angles and say, oh, these guys are going to be hurt and this guy's going to benefit from it. But these guys are already hurt, so it's not like I'm wishing them to be injured. Embiid's still wearing his knee brace. He dropped a little bit of weight in the offseason just to be all right for the regular season and hopefully last through it. We'll see if that happens. But they have some guys, They still got Kelly Oubre who could put up some points.
I hate this roster. Oh, my God.
But, I mean, Caleb Martin, Eric Gordon.
Oh, this roster is nasty. Oh,
yeah, this roster, the more you look at it, the Kyle Lowry, Yabu.
Bro, why do they have, so many 50-year-olds? Why do they got Eric Gordon, Kyle Lowry on the same team?
It's a strange team. And I guess Adem Bona, maybe they'll have to play at center if Drummond isn't going well. I don't know. But where I see it is you got to pick up the fantasy value where it is. And Oubre might be a steal. Drummond might be a steal because he might play and start 40 games this season.
Yeah, that's true.
So you just kind of got to look at it around the corners. And I don't think the 76ers are actually going to be good at all. Most people have them like a top 4 team in the East. I don't think they're that at all.
Yeah, because you just look at them. You look at the big three. Oh, we got Paul George, Tyrese Maxey, and Joel Embiid, but they're not. They're all not going to play. I mean, Embiid's going to play 50 to 55 games.
Yep.
George, I'd be happy if he hits 60. If he plays 60 games, Maxey usually plays. I think so.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then you look at past those 3 guys, you don't really have a whole lot.
And Paul George, the last few seasons, the last time he played over 75 games was in 2018. The past 5 years have been 48, 54, 31, 56, and then last year was 74.
And he missed some playoff games too.
Yeah, he did. And that's 4 straight years of below 50, basically. Like that's really bad.
Yeah.
So I think last year was a lucky year for health. That wasn't just like, oh, he's back. I think that was more luck. He was healthy, and that's just what it was. But the past 4 years have been really rough.
And then Kawhi killed himself trying to play all those games.
Yep.
That 65 game threshold, and then his knees were gone come playoff time.
Yep. And that was pretty much it. That was the Clippers. 4 or 5 years of just wasted time and wasted potential.
Wasted money.
Wasted money too. But my 5 teams that I have missing the playoffs in the East.
Yep.
Bulls, Hawks, Pistons, Nets, Wizards.
Yeah, I got 4 out of the 5 there. So I got.
You have Bulls making it. So you have the Hornets missing.
I have Hawks at 11. I have Hornets at 12. I have Pistons at 13. Nets at 14, and the Wizards are going to be god awful.
Okay.
So I got them at 15.
Yep, that's pretty much how I have it. Wizards at 15, Nets at 14, Pistons at 13, Hawks at 12, and then, like I said, Bulls at 11. So that's just the one thing. You don't believe the Hornets are going to make the playoffs or even the play-in, and I don't believe the Bulls are going to do it. But other than that, we have 9 out of 10, I believe, of the same.
We're pretty
in different order, but
yeah.
So we have consensus on 9 teams that we think will make it and could make a run.
And we had the Magic pick the same. We both had Magic at 6.
Right, we got them both making it right there at the end at 6, which is cool. Okay, so moving on to the West standing. Let's change the banner at the bottom. The West standings, number 1. Who do you have at number 1 in the West?
Before I say the Eastern Conference, Western, because I got the conference pretty quickly. The West was kind of tough for me. But I got the.
You just lagged. What'd you say?
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I was gonna say the Eastern Conference was a lot easier to pick than the Western Conference was.
Mm-hmm.
It took me a while to finally get to the Western Conference, but I got the Thunder at 1.
Thunder at 1. So I have the Timberwolves at 1. I think they're going to be incredible. I thought last year the one thing they were missing was a dynamic scorer that wasn't Anthony Edwards, somebody to draw attention and be that 6-man type scorer. And it's Dante DiVincenzo. He was a top 10 3-point shooter last year, and I think he's been a top 10 3-point shooter in the league for a few years.
Okay.
So I think that's kind of what they need. They needed a little bit more offense. They didn't need it from Cat just shooting threes and doing what he does. I like Randall. I think he'll take the ball out of Anthony Edwards' hands when he doesn't need to, or he's doing too much, or they need to switch it up. Randall's still an all-NBA player from a few years ago, you know?
Right.
He's not fully washed up or whatever. We'll see how he comes back off of his injury, but I think he's going to be fine. I think he's going to do great.
Okay. All right,
Still have Naz Reid. You still have Naz Reid. Now you got Dante and Naz. Like, you have a real team now.
You got
They
Luka.
lost Kyle Anderson, but he kind of slowed things up anyway. He's a solid player, but overall, I haven't seen a team win a championship with Kyle Anderson yet.
Right. And they have Luke.
So
They have
until you
Luka.
prove it to me that he's that necessary to win a ring, I'm not worried about him. That's just how I'm feeling.
All right.
I think Dante, he's done some stuff. He's been a part of some great teams already. The Knicks last year really stepped up, averaged a bunch of points. He also stepped up when he was on the Bucks, like bouncing around. He's been doing his thing no matter where he goes. He went on the Warriors. He was doing his thing. So I like Dante. The big ragu, I'm a fan of his.
Okay. I think the Lakers at 2.
The Lakers at 2. No way.
Got the Lakers at 2. I think the offense is going to flow a lot better. They got Dalton Connect. I believe in Dalton Connect. I like Rui. I think they're going to play D'Lo a little differently, more off ball, have the ball in the hands of LeBron and Reeves a little bit more. MVP-like year for Anthony Davis. MVP-like year for Anthony Davis. I'm not going to say MVP, but I'll take the Lakers at 2.
Wow. That was incredible. That was actually incredible. I can't believe you said that with a straight face.
It was a curveball, huh?
It was a big curveball. I have the Thunder at 2. I actually think there's probably going to be some injury bug, and they're actually not going to be a top 4 finishing team. Potentially. I think they're going to get caught up in with, like I said, and there's going to be a bad month that just kind of fucks with their record. And then they are going to be more of a middle of the pack team, but everyone's going to know they're great. They just had a bad month. Doesn't mean they aren't going to, kill it in the playoffs and be a threat and still be a good squad. It's just I think they're going to be missing guys for a little bit throughout the year. Shea has always been injury prone. Isaiah Hartenstein's already out. J-Dub's already hurt a little bit.
Yep.
So that's 3 of your best guys. You got Chet now. Chet's got to figure it out by himself, basically, if that does happen, where you got 3 guys out or 3 guys kind of indecisive if they're going to play or not.
Right.
Who are you going to put out there? Chet, Dort, Usman Jang? If you're missing these guys, you're going to end up losing. They're good role players. They fit around as like a good puzzle piece and complete as a team. But the second you start plucking Shea and their new big out of there and everything else, like it starts getting weird. That's the way I see it.
They have Caruso too.
They got Caruso too.
Yeah. So that's a good.
What do you do when Shea's hurt and J-Dub's hurt, and you got Caruso and Dort as your starting 2 guards?
Yeah, you don't have a lot of offense there.
And Dort and fucking Caruso are going to be passing it right back to each other. Like, what do we do?
Bricking threes,
not knowing what to do, creating their own offense. So I do see a way that they actually might not be the best team possible. They got rid of Trey Mann. He's also been like a good gear shift whenever Shea's out. So they don't have that little scoring punch.
Right. Okay.
So that's how I feel with the Thunder. I do, like I said, I have them second right now, but I do think they have the chance to be like one of these weird middle of the pack teams that mess up. 3, I have the Mavericks. I really like what the Mavericks did in the offseason. They picked up some people, rounded out their team, though I don't think it really moves the needle necessarily. We can mention it right now. That KOC, Kevin O'Connor of Yahoo Sports, said that he thinks that was one of the top 7 title-shifting moves. If you drop Najee Marshall into the NBA Finals last year, the outcome doesn't change.
He's not changing. No.
It doesn't change anything to me. That's just how I feel. Maybe the regular season might be a little better. They might play a little bit better as a unit. But overall, Najee Marshall wouldn't have changed the finals. So that's where I see it.
Changing a series either.
Yeah, right. He's not changing a series necessarily. Yeah. Who do you have at 4?
Denver Nuggets.
Denver at 4? Okay. I have the Kings.
I also had Dallas at 3.
Dallas at 3? Okay. Oh, nice.
Both had Dallas at 3.
So, yeah, you got and then where do you have the T-Wolves?
5.
5. Okay, interesting. I just think Gobert is proven in the regular season. He doesn't lose in the regular season. He's a good regular season player.
Yeah. And then come playoff time on defense.
Right, and then come playoff time, he gets picked apart.
you can't even play him.
Right. Well, that's why you got Nas Reed and Julius Randle, two guys who aren't really liabilities as bigs. Defensively, they aren't better, but they got better ball skills.
Ball
That's
control.
damn sure.
Ball control.
But, right, way better ball control. And then the last spot, we said fifth. I have Nuggets at fifth.
Yep, and I had Timberwolves at 5.
And you had Timberwolves at 5. Sixth, I have the Suns.
We agreed on that too.
Okay, good. And yeah, I like the Suns. I like the additions. Tyus Jones, Monte Morris. It's pretty cool additions there for point guards. And then I think, didn't they lose a big? Did they lose Drew Eubanks?
Um,
Because they had Drew Eubanks last year. I don't think he's on the squad again.
let me see. Where are the Suns?
They got Plumlee, but he's 34 now.
I like Mason Plumlee though. He's a great passer. Really
Yeah.
good offensive rebounder.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, they got Nurkic and Bol. Those are their bigs, other than Plumlee. So yeah, they lost Eubanks. I thought Eubanks was a pretty good center. Blocked shots, did some things. He's decent.
I like Plumlee though. And then you have
Plumlee's good too.
And Grayson Allen had a career year last year. He was lights out from 3.
They got a rookie from Marquette, also Iguodaro as well, who seems to be like a good handoff type passer. He tries to play like Sabonis, kind of like in the higher mid range, and he just does these little handoffs and backdoor screens, and I don't know. That's just the type of player he is. He's a smart player, so we'll see what that actually does. I don't know defensively if he's actually going to be good in the NBA. I think he's a little bit too small, but we'll see where that goes. I don't know if he's going to be the expert shot blocker they want him to be. Next, the play-in. So I have Grizzlies, Pelicans, Rockets, Warriors.
All right, so I got Kings at 7.
Oh, you have the Kings being a play-in team?
We're way off, I guess, in the Western.
Yeah, I know. You got the Lakers at 2. I got the Lakers at, honestly, I got them at 12.
All right. So I got the Kings at 7, the Warriors at 8, the Grizzlies at 9, and the Pelicans at 10.
Okay. I think the Grizzlies, they're going to make a big jump, but from what I hear, Jaren Jackson's already hurt. Gigi Jackson had foot surgery.
Yeah, he's not even going to be ready.
Yeah, he's not going to be ready, and I don't even think he would have been good anyway with Ja, Bane, and Gigi. That's just not a good lineup, in my opinion. So I think Gigi is going to be somebody that they're going to probably want to move or should have moved in the offseason, but he hurt his foot.
Right.
But yeah, they're going to take a big jump. They're going to probably take like a 20-win increase from like 27 wins to like 47 or something.
And I have.
And what did you say was your last, the 10th play-in?
Pelicans.
Pelicans? Okay. I think they're going to be good. They got DeJounte Murray now. They got another guard.
I think they're going to try to move Ingram, though.
Yeah. They're going to move Ingram for a big, most likely. I think they're going to send him to Cleveland. That's my guess. You trade him for Jared Allen. You get Brandon Ingram for Jared Allen. You get a big. They get a wing. They need a wing.
See, if they get that, I might have the Pelicans higher.
Okay.
If they get a big like that, who can score and defend.
Yeah, and Jared Allen's been killing it in the preseason.
Yeah, I would like that. I might move the Pelicans up a couple slots if they're able to trade for a big.
So who are your 5 that don't make the playoffs or the play-in?
I got the Spurs at 11.
Me too.
Because I think the Spurs are gonna look better than they. What did the Spurs finish last year? Like 14th or something. I thought it was 14th. But so I think they're gonna improve. But I think people are going crazy about adding Chris Paul. I think it's a good thing for Wemby's game, but a 38, 39-year-old Chris Paul, I don't think is gonna catapult them into a playing spot.
Harrison Barnes, another addition.
Got Harrison Barnes too. I just don't think they have enough, though. I think they're going to improve, but I don't think they're going to be a playing team. I I think the Clippers. I got the Clippers at 12 because we don't know what the hell is going to go on with Kawhi. We'll be lucky if he plays half the season.
Mhm.
And you have however old James Harden is. Is he really going to carry the Clipper squad with Ivica Zubac and Terrence Mann? I don't really think so. I think they're going to have a huge drop off. The Rockets, I got them at 13. They got some young talent. I don't think they have enough. The Jazz don't really have a lot. I don't know if they're going to stick with Markkanen. If they're going to try to trade Markkanen at some point in the season. The Trailblazers haven't done anything, so I'm going to take them at last place.
Okay. I have Spurs at 11, Lakers at 12, Jazz 13, 14 the Trailblazers, and then 15 I have the Clippers.
God
And I
damn.
looked at the Clippers. They actually they don't own their first round pick, but it's protected to the Thunder. And if it's top 10, I believe they keep their pick. So most likely the Clippers are going to keep their pick this year from the protections. I don't know. I think there's a big chance there. This is their opening season, so they get 1 year of just crap, and then their superstar comes next year in the draft. They're going to get a top 3 pick. They're going to set the tone. He's going to be the new face of LA, the Clippers. They have a new logo. They're a boat now. The Clippers are a ship sailing through the sea. Have you seen their new logo and the theme?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, they're like a boat. They're the Clippers, and it's like a pirate ship.
I don't like
when
it.
you walk into their locker room, we'll never walk into their locker room, but there's like a 40-foot sign across the wall, and it says "Entering rough waters," something like that.
Steve Ballmer going all out for a 15th place team.
Right, he's going all out for his 15th place team. I actually realized what he did. He built this fake team that he knew was never going to win a ring. He let these guys take time off. He did everything he could. He sold investors that he wanted to put the best team possible in a new arena, and he wanted to sell it. And then the second that arena got built, we don't pay Paul George the max. We're getting all this shit out of here. We're going for the number 1 pick. We're tanking.
Kawhi's going to retire.
We have Kawhi come out publicly and say he's not going to play back-to-backs and he's going to take time off this year again. Like, they don't give a shit. They just wanted that arena built. They wanted to convince any investor possible. That's why every single podcast had the Clippers winning the championship every preseason, like we're doing right now. Every single year, everybody said, Clippers could be in the finals.
They really did look good on paper.
They looked incredible on paper. You can't say they didn't. And that they trick everybody every year.
Those are the teams you have to watch, though. Those teams that look good on paper usually don't pan out.
Right, and I think that's what we feel about the 76ers this year, which is also coincidentally with Paul George, and he's already hurt.
If they win the finals, I may never watch basketball again.
Yeah.
I'm going to lose.
I don't think they do it. I don't think so.
If they even make it to the conference, finals, that's shocking to me.
Right. That will be amazing if they do make it. But MVP, who do you got?
It might be kind of an easy pick, but I feel like he's been on the cusp of it for the last 2 or 3 seasons. I'm going to take Luka.
Year 7, I'm taking Luka as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's been right there all these years. Something's got to give.
Right. I agree. So I think it's Luka Doncic wins MVP. How about Defensive Player of the Year?
Who do I have for defensive? I think I might have taken him last year, but I'm gonna go with Wemby again because I thought he should have won it last year too.
I'm going Wemby as well.
Okay.
All right. We have a lot of the same. What about this one? 6th Man of the Year, who do you got?
You know what? I like DiVincenzo.
All right, good. I wrote 2 down just in case. I was on the fence.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to ride your coattails on the Pacers pick. And since they were first in the East, according to you, I have them 5th or 4th. Honestly, I was stuck with them in the Bucks. But Benedict Mathurin, 6th Man of the Year.
Mathurin.
And that's going to be my 6th Man of the Year pick. I also think there's a few who could have a chance. You got You got what's his name? Dyson Daniels.
Dyson.
With
Okay.
the Hawks, I think he could be kind of interesting, low key.
All right.
Just my opinion there. And then you got Monk and Nas Reed still, which are always great options.
Right.
But yeah, I think I'm going to go with Benedict Mathurin. If they have a great season, it's going to be because they got an incredible 6-man off the bench, creating a whole bunch of havoc.
Okay.
And I always like Pascal Siakam. I think he's just a good player overall, and he'll help you in the regular season get dubs.
And now
he's like a Walmart Giannis, you know? Like it's like you want Giannis, but then you just go in the aisle and then you look at the price and you're like,
that's good.
$36 for Giannis, and then it's like $12.95 for Siakam, and you're like,
it's basically the same thing. Come on.
It's basically the same thing. They're probably packaged in the same factory. It's probably just a label swap. They're probably the same thing when you open the box up. You know?
Who wants to win a championship anyway?
Right. When it's almost win a championship.
Yeah, let's just make it far into the finals. We're gonna put up good numbers. We'll be an all-star,
but like winning it is too much work. Imagine going 7 games.
That's good enough. That's good enough.
Good enough. We got can we get Giannis? No, we got Pascal Siakam at home.
Exactly. See.
That's what we got. We got Pascal Siakam at home. We don't need Giannis. You're too hungry. We got Siakam. Wait for Siakam.
You gotta drop some LBs anyway.
Right. So, speaking of skinny, let's talk about these rookies. You know, all these little skinny rookies. We don't know who's going to win Rookie of the Year, but Edey has been the favorite, the big man.
Yeah, people have been really high on him in the preseason.
He seems to be like the guy who has the NBA-ready body, and these other guys, I think they're all just young.
All right.
Who do you have, though? I'm not saying I picked Edey. I'm saying he's the consensus pick. If you go on any betting site, he's now the number 1 guy.
The four I have written down are Connect, Castle, McCain, and Buzelis.
My 2 Rookie of the Year picks would be Stephon Castle and Matas Buzelis.
All right. So we're kind of close on these awards here, which is
I really like Ron Holland, by the way. I did say he is my lock of the draft and probably will be the top 5 player no matter what. When it's all said and done, he's going to be one of the better players this year. He reminds me of like Jamal Mashburn, Jerry Stackhouse, which is great because he's on the Pistons.
Right.
It's like he fits in perfect. And that's what I called before the draft. That's what I said his play style is and the type of player he kind of is. And it's funny he ends up on the Pistons.
So you're taking Buzelis, though?
Well, Stephon Castle's my number 1.
God,
you know why?
I was going to pick Castle, too.
Okay, well, go UConn.
I was going to go with the UConn guy.
So we have a lot of the same picks.
Yeah, this
Luka
is
MVP, Victor Wembanyama Defensive Player of the Year, and then Rookie of the Year Castle. And I have written Mathurin or DiVincenzo.
Oh,
and then I got a couple guys that I wanted to mention, like Daniels and Monk and them. But
this is ridiculous.
I know we got the same picks, but this is what happened. I mean, we weren't trying to influence each other's picks. We weren't trying to say, "Oh, I got this guy before." We're trying to surprise and have some hot takes, but it's funny we got the same hot takes.
No, we didn't even talk about it.
I know, that's what I'm saying. We didn't try to ruin it for each other. We wanted to say it all here. So yeah, I got Castle, man. What's really going unnoticed is the fact that Devin Vassell is out for like half the year.
All right.
No one's thinking about that at all. Like, yeah, they got Harrison Barnes, they got Keldon Johnson and all this stuff, but who is at the 2? They keep mentioning Chris Paul at the 1, Wemby at the 5. Oh my God, the pick and rolls, it's going to be crazy. No one's talking about the other positions. Someone's got to play the other 3 spots. Yeah. And at the guard position, it's Stephon Castle. He said he wanted to develop into a point guard. Look at what Chris Paul did to Shea while he was over there on the Thunder.
They made it to the playoffs. He showed Shea some things. I'm pretty sure Shea is a better point guard now than what he was before. I think Stephon Castle
though he didn't play the shooting guard or even the point guard position at UConn, he wants to be a guard in the league. We all know Tristan Newton was the guard and Cam Spencer.
Yeah.
Draft analysts forgot that part, that Stephon Castle was never actually even a guard in college. He was a small forward, power forward, and that's kind of how it was.
And I also like that Popovich is his coach too. I took that into account, that he has a really good coach. I mean, he's had 2 really good coaches now for college and now the NBA. So I took that into account as well.
Good call.
So, yeah, I guess I'm going with Stephon Castle.
It's easy to bet on a blue chip like him. Like you said, he's a national champion in college, and now he's with Pop. Like, it's like you're putting money on Apple or Amazon.
You can't really better than his coaching situations.
Yeah.
You can't really have
many Amazon.
Than
we did a good deal today. I had to, you know how much money I had to pay Jeff Bezos to get you on this show?
God damn.
The amount of mandatory hours he's had you work. I had to pay extra. I had to really drop a bag today just to get you on the show. It's not cheap. It's really not cheap to do this thing.
Sick of Jeff. Well, get ready. You better get ready, because November and December is going to be all this mandatory overtime.
Right.
Going to start back up again.
All right. So we both got Castle, and you picked Buzelis. I really like that. But I'm going to say, Castle, Buzelis, and Ron Holland, I think, is another great option. But Edey's going to be a killer. I like what Edey does.
I don't believe in Edey.
I think you're crazy. He also shoots over 80% from the free throw line. You can't hack him. He's not a bullshit center. He's 7'5" and hits free throws. He's one of the few 7'5" guys who shoots over 80% from the free throw line. He's different. I like him. And he's Canadian.
All right. Okay.
Rooting for our Canadian brethren.
All right. So where are we going? Coach of the year.
MIP.
This probably my favorite award, honestly.
Me too.
You actually have to go and look. I got to go and look at all the rosters. This year, I thought it was a little bit more difficult to find people that I really liked. I put down Tyus Jones. He's not my number one, but I like Tyus Jones. And I feel like he could take an even bigger leap with all the talent he has around him. DeAndre Hunter, I had him because who else is really going to score on that team aside from Bogdan Bogdanović and Trae Young?
That's a very interesting pick.
But the other thing is, Hunter, I think he missed some time last year, but he averaged over 15 points per game.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if he's going to take that high of a leap, and he shot pretty well from the field, and he's a 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure how high of a jump he's going to have. I have Herbert Jones because he's improved on his numbers every year. He's always been a really good defender, but he's improved on his points. He's improved on his 3-point percentage every year.
I think he's starting too. He starts over Trey Murphy.
Yeah, he starts over Trey Murphy. I put down Chris Boucher as well. I like Chris Boucher. He had a really good 2020, 2021 season. He was a really good shot blocker that year. He shot the 3-ball really well, but he missed like 30 games last season.
Bro, he's old. He's older than Giannis.
And he only averaged like 6 points per game last year.
I would say this one. I think you were on to something with every other one. I am with you 100% of the way. This is where you lost me.
Okay.
Chris Boucher is old as fuck.
All right, I had him written down. I didn't say he was number one. I just had him written down. I like Chris Boucher.
Word. But yeah, to me, he's too old. If you're older than Giannis, you can't be winning Most Improved Player of the Year.
Okay. All right. But what I came up with for my number one pick, I'm going to go with another Timberwolves player. I'm going to take Jaden McDaniels.
That's a great pick.
I'm going to say because he averaged, I think, 10, 11 points last year. He shot pretty well from 3. No, the year before he shot really well from 3. Because I think not last season, but the season before was really his best year statistically. But last year, defensively, he really showed up. But yeah, I think with losing Karl Anthony Towns, obviously you have to get his shots. You have DiVincenzo coming off the bench. He's going to get his shots, but I think McDaniels is going to take that next leap offensively.
I like that.
He'll be great on the defensive side of things. So I'm going to take Jaden McDaniels as my.
All right, and I think you already know who I'm picking. I don't even think I got to say it. He should have won it last year. He got robbed.
Oh, we're taking And
But if we're going to say Maxey can get worse and just get up 2 more points per game, let's see what Cam Thomas does. He just has to average 2 more points and shoot less efficient, and he'll be just like Tyrese Maxey last year.
Okay. All right.
So I think that's pretty easy if that's the standard we're holding people to. So you could go down in true shooting percentage, but you're still most improved player of the year. That's an interesting thing to me. But, yeah, so I got Cameron Boucher-Thomas winning the most improved player of the year. Clutch Award.
Ooh, Clutch Award.
The Clutch Award, I'll start it off. Dame time.
Dame time. All right.
Dame time.
Let me think. So Curry won it last year, right?
Yeah.
Fox won it the year before.
Yep.
All right.
Did DeRozan win the first one?
Hold up.
Or am I misremembering this? Or did it get created because of DeRozan? Shouldn't he have won it one time?
He should have won it, but I think they've only been doing it 2 seasons. I think the year it was
so that's probably why they created it then.
And then
was that year that DeRozan hit like back-to-back game winners and everything else?
It was, Fox won it in 2022, 2023. Curry won it 2023, 2024.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to take a guy who's really clutch last season and probably one of the top candidates to win it last year. I'll go with Jalen Brunson.
I like that pick. I'm going to say my backup pick was going to be Shea. So I'll say that.
Okay.
Because, his fourth quarter scoring is pretty good. But I didn't pick him because, like I said, I have a weird feeling about the Thunder. Everyone's hammering the over. It went from 57.5 to it's like 59.5 or some shit at one point. It didn't hit 60 wins yet for betting. But the fact that it's gotten hammered almost to 60 and it just keeps going, I think people are hammering that shit. I think there's no way they let them get 60 wins. Just me talking. Coach of the year. Let's move to Coach of the year. Who do you got?
I'm going to go with Rick Carlisle since I have the Pacers winning.
Rick Carlisle. Do you have a backup pick?
Being the number 1 seed. Let me see. I had it written down. Who else did I have here? You're going to hate it, but I had JJ Redick because I got the Lakers at number 2. So I think
either one of us is going to be really right or really wrong on this Lakers thing.
Bad.
I love it. I love it that we were this far away on the Lakers, but we were so close on everything else. It's funny.
Yeah, it's probably going to be me. And then I got Thibodeau because I think the Knicks are going to be a really high seed. I got him in the mix as well.
Okay. So Coach of the Year, I have Kenny Atkinson.
All right.
Probably winning it. I think he's a really good coach, and I think he's going to do something cool. Whatever happens, he loves Jared Allen. They did big stuff over there in Brooklyn, Kenny Atkinson and Jared Allen. That was the reason why Kenny Atkinson basically quit and got fired because he wouldn't start DeAndre Jordan over Jared Allen. He lost a job to that. And I think Jared Allen respects that type of loyalty and all that other stuff because he was like, no, I'm not starting DeAndre Jordan over him just because Kevin Durant's buddy is DeAndre Jordan. That was the whole thing. He didn't want DeAndre Jordan. He said, no, we got Jared Allen. They said, well, to make everything work and to make KD happy and for everybody to come here, Kyrie and everything, this is what we need.
Post-Clippers, DeAndre Jordan is nasty.
Right. So that is what it is. I think he really likes Jared Allen. I think he knows how to use him. He sees him as like a weapon and a tool to win. And I think they'll figure it out. So I really like what the Cavs are doing. So I'm going to say that. I also will say there is a chance in hell that if the Spurs figure it out and somehow make a bubble team, make it out on there, maybe, just maybe, Coach Pop wins Coach of the Year. That's my extra backup pick. So I'll say Kenny Atkinson of the Cavs, but I'll say Pop in the West.
I'd love to see that.
Me too. I would really love to see Pop and Wemby kind of have that moment where he wins Coach of the Year. Hopefully Wemby wins Defensive Player of the Year, and they collab, and it'll be cool. Okay, so let's move to executive of the year, best GM.
Oh shoot! I forgot about that one, to be honest.
Oh, okay. So
Let me think. What teams have made some moves? What teams have made? The Knicks have made some big moves.
So I'm gonna say executive of the year is gonna be Zach Kleiman for the Grizz.
All right.
I like the Grizzlies. I like the team. I think they've made some moves. Like I think it took a lot of balls to draft Zach Edey. As much as they needed a center, like all last year, he won Player of the Year. Well, 2 years in a row in college. He wins National Player of the Year. People are like, he can't play in the league. Everybody, all 30 teams are saying this guy can't play in the league. He could be MVP of college basketball, but he won't work in the NBA. It was very interesting. Someone had to do it. Someone had to take a chance. He does it in the lottery. Takes Zach Edey, and it looks like it's already paid off because now everyone went from Zach Edey can't play in the NBA to now he is the front runner for Rookie of the Year. It's funny how things switch. And I think the Memphis Grizzlies are always ahead of the curve. I think Zach Kleiman. Rich Kleiman is an agent. Zach Kleiman, super smart guy, GM of the Grizz, executive of the year.
All right. I'm going to take Leon Rose for the Knicks.
Okay.
Because I think the Knicks have probably made the most moves preseason. Yes. And obviously they've had to make, some, difficult trades, trading away DiVincenzo and Randall. And obviously DiVincenzo was so important to their success last year. You got to see what happens with Mikal Bridges. I think that was a shit ton of picks to give up for Bridges. He's a very good player. So we'll see if that pays off. But he's taking some chances, and we'll see what happens.
He's got a weird hitch in his shot now, if you haven't seen it.
Awful.
I don't know where the hitch came from.
I don't know why.
I think it's probably some preseason Vegas to throw some bettors off, to make people go, see, the Knicks suck. It's all the haters. It's the mind games of Vegas. They go, yeah, shoot with a weird hitch, go 0 for 11 tonight. Everyone's going to shit on the Knicks. I have him first. I'm betting against you, Vegas.
Because he's been last year was kind of, obviously a down year for him, and you wanted to kill him last year, but he's, usually a good 3-point shooter, a good shooter.
And you know what? I think he's been getting away with the excuse of everyone's been saying, oh, Cam Thomas got in his way and he gave up and he just said, oh, fuck it. It's Cam Thomas's team. His team sucks anyway. I'm not even going to try hard. I don't want to get hurt, yada, yada, yada. So there's no more excuses for Mikal Bridges. I'll say that.
Right.
If he doesn't do it this year, it is what it is. And you can't just say, oh, it was on this guy. It might even look better on Cam Thomas next year to say that was the guy that was your number 2.
Right.
Like, maybe there was a lot more pressure and maybe people can give credit to what he was doing because he actually didn't have much help last year.
True.
He wasn't open because of Mikal Bridges. He was just open despite Mikal Bridges, if anything. So that's what I think is going to end up happening. And the last award of the year, Hustle Award.
Hustle Award.
Caruso won it last year, just to give you a kind of a scope of who wins this type of awards. I have Dylan Brooks. I think the Rockets are going to be solid. I think they're going to make the play-in tournament. And I think Dylan Brooks kind of taps into more being a hustle guy instead of being more volume on the scoring. I think he had to when they first went over to the Rockets and that team was kind of rebuilding. Now they got some guys who need the shot attempts. You need Jalen Green to shoot the rock. You need Cam Whitmore to shoot the rock. Jabari Smith Jr., Reed Shepard, Amen Thompson. I think there's more of these guys that need to take that next step in development, become better players. And I think this is when Dylan Brooks takes a step back from being that, grenade catcher on the offense to where he doesn't need to be shooting the grenades in the offense no more. 6 seconds left in the clock. Cam Whitmore, just shoot it. You don't have to give it to Dylan Brooks. We know, you played a good rookie year. Play. Push your limits. Limit test. Get better. Figure out your bag. Don't give it to Dylan Brooks and let him bail you out because he's the vet. Enough of that. Now you guys got to figure it out. You guys got to take more of those reps and the responsibilities instead of just dumping grenades on Dylan Brooks when this guy's never been a scorer.
Never.
You know, like it just is what it is. You got to stop dumping the ball on him. You guys are supposed to be the stars. We brought him in to be a role player. So I think this is the year Dylan Brooks goes into full role player, full heel, pissing everybody off, you know, fouling people, getting flagrants and talking shit. I think this is Dylan Brooks' year to be the ultimate hustle, you know, grit guy.
All right. I'm going to take Josh Hart.
Okay.
I'm going to take
I
Josh.
think that it fits the narrative too. If they'll be one of the best teams, he'll get all the spotlight for the award. He's got his podcast.
I guess I picked a lot. I think I picked 3 Knicks awards and 2 Timberwolves awards. I guess that was just how it.
So maybe we could just go straight into that for KOC. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe that trade was the biggest shift in the NBA, and it might swing the entire championship. Either the Knicks or the Timberwolves are probably going to be in the finals, one of the two, just because of how big that trade was, and both teams improved, in my opinion.
All right.
So KOC's 7 players to shift the title race. Najee Marshall, which we've already debunked. We've already said he wouldn't have changed the finals last year, so throw that out. He said Naz Reid.
I don't hate it.
I don't hate it, but he didn't change anything.
But I think he can. I mean, I think he has the potential to
Randall's going to start over him. He's still the 6th man. Nothing changed for Naz Reid. I don't agree with him being the swing for the championship if he didn't change anything.
I don't crazy though. I don't. It's not like the Najee Marshall one or some of the other ones.
At least Najee Marshall got traded. There was a move.
Yeah.
Nothing happened with Naz Reid. They traded their starting power forward for another starting power forward.
Right.
His role is still the same, in my opinion. He's still probably 6th man of the year type candidate. As I said, he's probably going to be in there. Monk, Nas, Dante, Mathurin. He's going to be in that mix still. Nothing changed for him. So I don't think he should be on that list. I disagree with KOC again. Another one, Derek White. He didn't do anything. Nothing changed for Derek White. If anything, he went to the Olympics and shit. I don't know. Like,
I don't mind that one either.
To me, it doesn't make sense. I understand that he could be a great player for a championship team and everything else, but the swinging piece, nothing. What swung? What changed? What was over here and now over here? What swung from over here for Derek White? Like, nothing to me changed. He's still the shooting guard of the Boston Celtics. I don't know. That's just me. The first one where he starts actually – also AD. What changed with AD? The fact that maybe JJ Redick won't let him shoot the fucking stupid 25-footers with his heels on the three-point line? He's actually going to have to take a step back and shoot a 3? Maybe that's the changing factor. But other than that, I don't really see what AD changed.
But I thought it was weird that he put, those 6 guys, and then he had Anthony Davis there like he's not an all-NBA MVP caliber player. I found that kind of strange that he put him in there with those guys, with those role players.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do think that part was just weird because it was, it's like, what changed with him other than the coach?
I mean, I don't see Anthony Davis is great. I don't know what he's supposed to change or what's supposed to swing with him. I mean, he's gonna play like Anthony Davis. I don't know.
So
that one was weird to me.
The last 3 kind of makes sense. You got Middleton. He was great in the playoffs last year. I think people forget that. He had like 25 in the first round. Like, he was killing.
And he was one of the reasons, or probably the main reason as to why they were able to play 6 games in the first round.
Exactly.
They were able to.
Chris Middleton's nice. I know he had double ankle surgery and all this shit. He's getting a bad rap as being washed up and nothing left. But he's still got game left to him. So I believe in Chris Middleton. I'll say this is a swing move potentially if he comes back healthy. That's what kind of a swing move would be, if anything. Like, Derek White's not coming off of an injury. He's coming off a gold medal. What's the swing? Nothing changed. He already won. He already determined a championship. He's not the swinging piece to determine another.
And then
same team. It's just weird to me.
And Middleton, if he gets traded, could be a swing player. goes somewhere as well, that could put a team over the top or change.
That could put the team over the top. But I'll say it'll put the team over the top if he's healthy and comes back healthy. So
right.
There's that. Tyus Jones is a great option for this, and that was his last pick. I think 6 of them, I'd say 5 to 6 were kind of garbage. Edie is another one that he chose. Those are the only 2 I would say actually have credibility. Tyus Jones is a swinging move, potentially to be a championship, be a championship team. You need a point guard. And we have them both at 6, so they make the playoffs, no play-in tournament, because they got a point guard, and that's Tyus Jones. So we agree on that.
I don't really like the Edie one because we haven't seen him play an NBA minute.
And that's right. And that's another one where it could be a championship swinging move if they have a great big, like, he replaces like a Steven Adams, Jonas Valanciunas type that they've always been comfortable with. He's bigger than them. He's actually a better shooter than them, a better scorer than them. He isn't a better passer. Valanciunas and Adams are great passers. So let's see what Edie could do passing-wise, because we've seen Valanciunas drop a triple-double with assists. Yep. We've seen Steven Adams drop a triple-double with assists too. Like, these are good passing bigs. They're mainly screeners for Ja to create off of the screen and to make something out of it. But here are my 7. I don't know if you made a list of 7.
No, I didn't.
I'll say the first one, I'll just put the trade package of what you were saying, the Minnesota Timberwolves and the New York Knicks. That whole trade package, I think, is a swinging move for either one of them. You got Cat, Dante, Randall. Something's going to happen there. Some team is going to ultimately become the winner of that trade, or maybe both of them. They might meet up in the finals, and we'll see.
Because if you have Cat, to me, that's a true number 2 option.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that definitely is I think that's definitely a swing move.
DeMar DeRozan, that's a swing move to me. Yep. The Kings getting DeMar DeRozan from the Bulls, huge move. That's a championship swinging move. KOC, these are mine, not KOC's.
Yeah. No, I got you.
You're going to see how, I don't know, maybe obviously it's my opinion, but the lists don't compare to me.
I like the DeRozan.
He has Derek White, who's coming healthy off of, like I said, the gold medal, the championship. I have Porzingis instead of Derek White there. Porzingis is the championship swinging move for me. Can he come back? Will they be in a bad seed and they're stuck in 3rd, and now they face, a weird team at 6, and now they're facing the Magic in the first round, and they don't have Porzingis back, or he's hurt again. I think Porzingis is the championship swinging move for them. It comes down to health, and I'll compare that to more of a Middleton situation, which I agreed with KOC.
Right.
I think it is a championship swinging move if he comes back healthy.
I like that. Pick.
Next, I share Tyus Jones and Edie. We have 5 different picks, me and KOC. My other one would be PG-13, or the new named PG-8. Paul George could be a championship swinging move. We'll see what happens. We'll see if he comes back healthy. But that's where I'm at with it. I don't see where AD is the championship swinging move because there wasn't a move with him.
All right.
PG is the move. So we'll see it. PG, Tyus Jones, Edie. But mainly, I think DeMar DeRozan is the biggest move. I think that's going to shift something potentially to where the Kings might be a top 3 seed. I have them at 4. But there's a shot where their offense is just too much. Also, Sabonis changed his number. Now he's got his dad's number. A whole psychology change.
Okay.
He changed his number. Paul George also changed his number. So there's like a little bit of superstition also that's like part of these 2 guys that I have in my 7 big changing players. So they changed numbers. They changed their teams. They changed the situation. So let's see if it changes the title race.
But I like the DeRozan thing because now you have another scoring option. You have another guy who is going to go out there and give you 20 to 25 every night.
And you don't got to pray for Herter to just be hot every night.
Or as a bonus to actually be aggressive and try and score.
Yeah.
So I do like that pick.
So that's where I'm at. And I think where did you make a list of 7 players who could swing the title race, or did you share like a lot of the common ones?
No, I thought we were just breaking down what Kevin O'Connor said yesterday.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, KOC, I think the Ringer and Bill Simmons is happy. I think there's a Ewing theory. If you don't know Bill Simmons' Ewing theory, when Patrick Ewing got hurt in the 99 playoffs and the Knicks go to the championship, he believes they actually were a better team without Patrick Ewing because they played more free flow and they actually played small ball. Ironically, they had to because of the way their team was built, and they small ball fived it. They didn't win the championship, but according to him and his basketball expertise, he claims that the Knicks look better without him. So there's this Ewing theory that he says. So I think there's room for the Ewing theory there.
Okay.
Yep. And then there's the WNBA Finals. So that's our NBA season predictions. Is there anything else you want to fit in? You think? What about who's winning the title, the championship?
Might be easy, but I'm gonna say the Celtics. I don't see there's not too many paths for the Eastern Conference for the other teams that I see them slowing down the Celtics.
Okay, so I think also the Celtics.
I'm not that impressed. I'm not that impressed with the Eastern Conference.
Okay, yeah, I'm all in on the Celtics as well. I just think they're the best team in the NBA. Maybe one of the best teams ever built.
Yep.
So that's where I'm at with it. It's sad to see them cut Lonnie Walker. I think the Knicks should pick up Lonnie Walker. He'll be the perfect fill-in for Dante DiVincenzo.
They still don't have
some scoring. Obviously, he's not Dante. He doesn't have the defense or the rebounding. But you need a guy to go out there and kind of just be a wild card. And I think Lonnie Walker would be the perfect 7th, 8th man on that Knicks roster because they don't have anybody. You look at their starting lineup. You know Tibbs doesn't go too deep. So as long as you've got the 8th guy and it's Lonnie Walker, I think that's solid.
Man, the Celtics got to do something with with getting some bench players.
For sure. But let's move on to the WNBA Finals. Game 5, do or die, tied up 2-2. Who do you got?
I had the Liberty winning it in 4 games. So I'm gonna stick with my Liberty pick because they've looked like the better team throughout the finals. Yeah. And the one decisive victory was in game 2, and they won that game.
Yeah.
And in game 1, I mean, they had it. They led by as much as 18. They were up by 15 with over 5 minutes left in the 4th quarter, and they had opportunity after opportunity to win it. And they had a lot of breaks go their way. When Collier knocked the ball off it should have been she knocked the ball off of Stewie's shoe, but they still gave Liberty the ball back.
Yeah.
Then Stewie got her shot blocked. They got the ball back again. They got to the free throw line, and then she missed the second one, and she's usually a great free throw shooter. Then you go to overtime, and you had a good look for Benaje Laney-Hamilton with the 3, Fibich being Vegas, missing that putback shot. Then Stewie on the last possession just launching the ball off the glass.
Yo, Stewie's been awful, bro.
He's been horrific.
How much are they paying Stewie to do this?
I don't know, but
she doesn't even look like a real basketball player right now. It's kind of weird. It's like the Monstars stole her skill because she went like 0 for 11 in the first half the other day.
And she's looking for calls constantly. And Collier's locking her up around the perimeter. She's constantly drawing. How many jump balls does Nafisa Collier have in these finals?
Yo, so many, bro.
And but Stewie's played great everywhere else. I mean, she's done great rebounding. She's done great facilitating. She's been great on the defensive side of things. But what you really need her right now is scoring.
Yeah, she can't score. She barely can make a layup right now.
And it's crazy that the 2 star players, or they consider Ionescu and Stewie the star players. If they would have had a decent game for one of these games, I mean, I guess Stewie had a big 30-point game. What was that, game 3? But they both have not shot the ball well at all this series. If they just shot the ball average, they probably would be good because Benaje Laney-Hamilton has had probably 2 of her best games in these finals for all postseason because she was horrible. She didn't do much at all offensively through the first, how many rounds did they play? Through the first 2 rounds. She didn't really do it.
Yeah, first 2 rounds, yeah.
And Jonquel has been really good. Leonie Fibich has not looked like a rookie at all. And then you have, Stewie and Ionescu. I don't know what they're doing. I understand Ionescu hit the 2 big shots in the game 3 victory, but man, they
who wins
both
MVP? Or does it come down to this game? You think it's like, I don't know. Right now I have all potential winners. You got Sabrina, Nafisa Collier, Jonquel, Stewie, and Courtney Williams. I think those are the top 5 players in the finals right now who have performed. And I think it could be anybody's MVP. I think it might come down to tonight's performance and to see what's up. Because Stewie's kind of like not getting that to me right now.
Right.
It's going to have to be a statement game from anyone. Anyone who wants to win it has got to perform tonight. But right now, it's anybody's award.
Yeah, it's really a toss-up right now because I have no idea what to think.
I think Sabrina, she had the game winner. She's been solid, and Stewie's been off. So I think this is like Stewie, where she's saying, like, Sabrina, you want to win a title, you want to be a championship player, you got to earn it.
Because I can't.
I'm not going to win it for you. You got to win this one for us.
And I can't predict anything in these finals. It's all over the place. It makes no sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
So,
who's the role player, the X factor for you?
Phoebich, no question. Phoebich, no question. She's been unbelievable. She's been so efficient. Just the complete opposite of Ionescu and Stewart.
Okay. I've been liking Alana Smith.
Alana Smith's been solid, and she's playing hurt too.
Right, she's been playing hurt. She's really hustling out there still. It's hard. It's hard. Like, it's a hard job. She's going against Stewie and Jonquel Jones, 2 of the best bigs to ever live, and she's guarding like both of them. On every other possession, she's switching.
Right.
And she's working hard. Injured. She wasn't even highly recruited. She gets signed like as a 10-day player and eventually earns a contract. She's trying out. She doesn't get drafted. You know, like she's really doing a lot. She's playing above her pay grade.
I also want to say Kayla McBride, because she didn't really play that well through the first 2 rounds of the postseason. Didn't really shoot field or the 3-point line. Now she's been shooting great from beyond the arc in this postseason. It's hit a lot of big shots. I mean, in the finals. She shot great in the finals from the 3-point line.
To me, I wouldn't call her a role player mainly because she was getting MVP votes.
Well, she shouldn't be getting MVP.
I know she should have never gotten one, but she did so good as being the number 2 on the Lynx this year that people were like, "Yo, McBride."
And Williams has been really good too. She was gassed out though in the second half. I mean, she was exhausted in the second half of that game.
Did you see that interview, the walk and talk they did with the interview?
Yeah, she was in her Birkin bag and she hasn't done anything since.
That was the funniest thing I've ever seen. I'm like, what are they doing? I've never seen this. This was like a WWE level skit.
No, they do that all the time.
The walk and talk?
Yeah, I hate it.
It felt like a WWE skit coming from Courtney Williams, though. Like, it was like a character. Like, the way she was talking.
And I also hate when they interview the coaches at the start of halves or quarters in the middle of the game. It's like it's a finals game. It's a finals game. This is their job. Their job isn't to go and talk to you.
It's that part's super annoying.
Do the commentary, do the broadcast, and whatever.
And then the coaches got to like fake yell in between while there's like a little silence. They got to be like, "Hey, hustle back!" And let me get back to this. What's up? You know,
how can they coach? How are you supposed to coach when you're trying to talk to the comment? It's really awful.
I agree.
I don't know why they do that.
So I think the Lynx had the easiest path. What do you think?
Yeah.
So what's more repeatable next year? Do you see the Lynx making it back or the Liberty making it back to the finals?
The Lynx or the Liberty?
Because next year is going to be a totally different ball game. The Sun aren't going to be there. The Sun aren't going to be good. Bonner's going to a different team, potentially retiring. AT's going to a different team.
I like the Liberty next year.
Brianna Jones might even go to a different team.
Yeah, I have more faith in the Liberty repeating than I do the Lynx.
Okay. Yeah, I feel the same. As long as they keep like their MVPs together, I think they'll be all right. Like Jonquel and Stewie, how are you going to make a better duo?
Right.
Even if they're slightly washed, they start getting older and slower. Who's better? What are you going to do? Like, you're going to match up Izzy Harrison and Angel Reese? You know, like there's just certain matchups where you're like, all right, there really isn't people better than them no matter what. You could go down to the Atlanta Dream. Like, you have Naz Hillman and Tina Charles. You know, like there's nobody who could actually match up and overtake what they're doing no matter what.
Yeah.
You would have to, like, you'd have to put Hamby back on the Aces. You'd have to do something like that to actually match what they do. And I don't think there's any team in the league that can match what they do until a team maybe picks up, like maybe next year, Alyssa Thomas goes to the Lynx. That could be a championship swinging move.
That's a difference.
You put AT there next to Nafisa Collier. Now you got something different. Instead of, I mean, I like Xander Lassini, but imagine the difference. You know, she adds something different. She's a way better shooter, obviously, than Alyssa Thomas, but that could be a big move.
But Thomas is one of the best passers in the league.
Yeah.
So you have, and you have all those 3-point shooters too. You can get it too. So
everybody's a shooter. You got Bridget Carlton out there. Alana Smith is a shooter. Courtney Williams is even shooting the rock good this season.
Heidemann.
McBride, Fee, they're all shooters. Fucking Peely on the bench, shooter. You know, Heidemann gets hot. So I think it could work. Something like that could be a way the Lynx could repeat. But as of right now, I think the better odds are with the Liberty.
I agree.
And hold on, I got one last thing. What do you think was the best game so far?
Man, I probably have
is
to go.
Stewie's game winner, or is it the OT game 1?
That's really tough. They were both classics. Games 1 and 3 were both classics. I think probably game 3. Probably because the Liberty won. I like that. Mm-hmm. And like Ionescu, you know, was horrible through the first 3 quarters, and then she hit 2 threes in the final 60 seconds, including however far that 3-pointer was to win it. Mm-hmm. So I probably have to go game 3.
Game 3, okay. But yeah, game 3 was special. That was a fun game. It was super close. The OT, oh my God, game 1. That was such a nail biter. Courtney Williams hits the 3, gets fouled, the 4-point play.
Yeah.
Like, some of that shit was epic. That was like Larry Johnson for the Knicks back in the day with his 4-point play. And it was in the same arena. It was in Madison Square Garden in New York, you know, home court for the Liberty. So I thought that was kind of cool. That was like the WNBA's Larry Johnson moment with the 4-point play in the finals.
And she was great in the fourth quarter, too.
Yeah.
She had a huge fourth quarter.
Yeah. But, yeah, I think the Lynx don't win the championship this year. They won the Commissioner's Cup. Good for them. But I think it's the Liberty win it. They look like the better team. And if you look at the scores from each game, the Lynx, 95-93. That's when it went to OT.
Yep.
But every single game, the Liberty have scored 80 points or more. 93. Then 80 in 3 straight games. You have 93. Game 2, they scored 80. Game 3, they scored 80. Game 4, they scored 80. So the Lynx, they went 95, then only 66 game 2, 77 game 3, and then 82 game 4. Without overtime, it seems like the Lynx struggled to score 80. And it seems like the Liberty could get to 80 any game they want. So overall, when the Lynx win, it's a tight game. They're not winning blowouts. You know, they won by 2 in overtime game 1, and they won by 2 game 4. But when they lose in blowout fashion. So that's why I think the Liberty are the better team, because they win in blowouts and then they're losing close. So that's the determining factor for me. I think the Liberty scored too much points for the Lynx.
And that's kind of, I take that into account too, like which team can smoke the other team. And I don't see the Lynx doing it. I can see the Lynx beating them in close games. Mm-hmm. Talking about a team that could win by, 15 plus points. Yeah. I think I would take the Liberty. I take the Liberty every time.
Me too. And now you got Sloot coming off the bench,
which is where she should be now.
Which is really good, because now you got Sloot like just cooking.
Right.
It's cool. I don't know. I like the whole situation with the Liberty. I'm rooting for them to win the championship. Hopefully, Benijah Laney Hamilton could get a ring too. She's come a long way.
I mean, she came up with Sabrina. Or she came up before Sabrina.
She was in the league a long time before. I don't even know how many more years. Let me see.
But I mean, they were the first. They kind of started that Liberty team, or to put eyes on the Liberty.
Yeah. But hold on, let me see.
Because they've been there at the worst when they were terrible.
Yeah. But she was bouncing around, like
He was with Atlanta.
yeah, she won MIP in
with
Atlanta, 17 points a game. She's pretty solid. But before that, I mean, she was averaging like about 5 points or less over for the Sky. She tore her ACL. She played for the Sun one season, had averaged 2 points. Like, she really bounced around, and I'm just glad that she finally found a home and built her career up. Because if you look at her stats page, I'll stream it real quick.
And she doesn't get talked about enough.
She really doesn't, and she's made an incredible leap. Like, look at these stats. 2 points a game her rookie year. Played 32 games, too. It's not even like that's a full season. Just because she didn't start, she still played all year. She didn't have injuries. Then her second year for the Sky, she does get injured. Then tears her ACL, goes to the Connecticut Sun for a season, doesn't really play too much. Plays almost a full season, but just never starts. Goes to the Fever, goes to the Dream. She's just bouncing around. But then the Dream have an opening. She started. What the hell is this? And yeah, she wins first team all defense, not defensive player of the year, but first team all defense, and wins most improved.
Yeah, her defense is really underrated.
And she shot 40% from three. This season, she actually recreated that, shooting 40% from three on the same attempts, 3.4, 3.6. And Lady Hamilton's the real deal.
You want to talk about a swing player? She's a swing player.
She's a swing player for sure. Big time. Big time. But all right. Well, I think that's about it. I know you said you had to go in about 10 minutes, so I don't want to hold you too long. But overall, I think it was a great UFC fight night, PFL night. Francis Ngannou gets the dub. Maybe that sets up him and John Jones somehow down the line. Hopefully that fight actually does happen and we get some definitive answer. Who is the best heavyweight of all time? Is it Francis Ngannou? Is John Jones the best fighter ever? Just overall, will he be the best light heavyweight, and fighter ever? That's interesting to me. But overall, NBA 2024 season, we did all the awards. We did it all. Thank you for tuning in for the prediction show. Rich, any last words about the 2025 season? I know you want the Celtics to win the title, and I think I'm picking the Celtics as well.
Who do you got next week for Topuria and Holloway? And Whitaker and Chimaev.
Chimaev is winning.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
I'm going to take Chimaev and Holloway.
Chimaev and Holloway. I think you're on to something.
I'm on to something.
I think you're on to something because the belt isn't up. The BMF belt is not up, which means they don't want to pay Max Holloway for defending a belt.
They don't want to pay Topuria because
also yes, and that's what I'm saying. And also they don't have to pay the title defense to Topuria either.
All right, so we got Holloway and Chimaev.
Though keeping Ilia Topuria in the mix is always interesting because of Paddy Pimblett.
I'd love to see him sleep Paddy Pimblett, though.
It would be interesting.
That'd be great.
They're 10 pounds away, so Ilia would have to fight up because Paddy's not going to 145.
No.
So yeah. I think it would take for Ilia Topuria to lose to then try to move up to 155. So if we're right, that's what's going to happen. We'll see. I don't know if that's what's actually going to happen, though.
Yeah,
but it would be cool. Max Holloway wins the belt. Let's see him be the champion real quick. And then, like, Sugar Sean fucking moves up to 145 and fights Max Holloway and would be, like, one of the best boxing matches in UFC.
I'd take Holloway in that, too.
And it would be fun. So, I don't know. There's a lot of potential if Max Holloway becomes the champ because people would want to see him fight anybody. They would throw him to 170 if they could. Go fight whoever you want. You're Max Holloway. We don't care. We want to see you fight. So I think there's a lot of fun opportunities. I think he's the people's champ. Everyone loves Max Holloway. And it also leaves a little bit of a door open to McGregor as well because McGregor beat Max Holloway in his first ever fight. So it could be this like he's the champ. Let's say McGregor comes and whoops Dan Hooker's ass in February, and then Max Holloway's talking some shit on the sideline. And then now McGregor's like, then what's up? I'll beat you again. and then we get McGregor fighting Max Holloway and it's relevant still. If not, Ilia Topuria is just going to, start his own run, and there's a whole new narrative going to be built. But as of right now, I don't think there's too much of a narrative building for Topuria other than the fact that he beat Volkanovski.
If he beats Volkanovski and Holloway in the same year,
which will be big time. That's a big thing to do. So we'll see what happens with Topuria. I'm betting against him. So I'm going Chimaev, Max Holloway for the dub. And, yeah, those are my picks. But MIP, Brooklyn Nets, Cam Thomas 24.
Yes, sir. Lakers number 2 seed.
And Lakers number 2 seed. That's what we're banking on this year. I got Lakers 12th seed.
Yeah.
So let's see what's in between 12 and 2. It looks like 7, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So let's see. The 7th seed is the middle ground of what we're saying. So either they're in the 2nd seed, 12th seed, 7th is the middle. That'll be the line. Who was closer to 7? So we'll see that. So thank you guys for tuning in again. We appreciate it. This NBA season is going to be really dope. So we'll be probably doing some playback streams, some different shit, streaming throughout the year, obviously. Yeah, I'm hyped. I'm really too hyped for this. And maybe I should have put the Nets making the play-in tournament just for the fun of it.
Right.
I should have did it. I didn't want to troll the stream, but I don't know. I do think low-key, they are a professional NBA team. You still got Cam Johnson. You got Dorian Finney-Smith, Schroeder, Claxton. I don't want to say Ben Simmons, but you got Bojan Bogdanovic. There's some guys there. Bojan averaged 20 last year. People are forgetting about it, and they cut Killian Hayes' bum ass. So I actually think they won't be as bad as they would have if they kept Killian Hayes.
Addition by subtraction.
And they got Shake Milton. He's a solid player. But, yeah, addition by subtraction. Hammer the Nets over. It's at 18. They can't win 18 games. They won 32 last year.
I think they could do that. I might have to take that.
Right? And Mikal Bridges was chips. Losing him isn't everything.
Right.
They got Jalen Wilson now.
Oh, look out.
Look out. He might win MIP.
Yeah. Hey, man.
He's solid, though. I almost bought his rookie card the other day. I went to a card shop, and they had a Gem Mint 10 autographed for $20. And I'm like, should I do this? It's PSA graded. It could be worth something. But I just was like, let me not buy one of these. This will be probably just sitting there, and I'll never be able to sell it anywhere.
Right.
Who's going to buy a Jalen Wilson autographed card? So, but I do think he's got some potential this year and could be something.
Well,
he's a great three-point shooter. But, all right, we're out of here. I tried to get it to the last second because the timer, I want it to be 2 hours. But anyway, we're out of here a little early. Thank you for tuning in. Good luck, Luka.
MVP.
But all right, where's the outro? Ritchie, play the outro.